technique of jumping. He's a high cruising speed, he stays very well and he loves to win. And his mental state then, when you kick his mind into gear, it just makes him very different. He's able to pump more adrenaline through his body, I'd say, than any other national hunter I've ever seen.
We ran istabraq in the Sun Alliance because we thought Finnegan's would be better suited to the 2 mile than istabraq. Well, I suppose when anybody buys a jumping horse, their ambition is to win at Cheltenham. As friendly rivalry, you know, I think the English admire a good horse just the same as the Irish, you know, and great audience travel to Cheltenham and great English audience there, and I think they admire what's best.
Before the race, he just got a little bit excited. He fretted a little bit. I think there was a false start and that got him all revved up. But Charlie dropped him right in and took his time on it. He slowly crept through the field and he was arriving there to get his second last and got a very bad bump.
Here comes istabraq full of running. This is Tuan. Oh, he was bumped there, istabraq, but it's a battler. It's coming through on the inside of Forest Ivory. So they've just got one more flight of hurdles.
But he got him back balanced. I think he took it up going to the last. There's no second to Charlie as a jockey, and he knows him inside out, and I don't think there's any doubt that he's a vital part of istabraq.
You know, I don't think it was his plan the day beforehand or the week before to ride him like that, but it worked out all for the best.
He was very well up to the champion hurdle. Everyone was very confident with him, very confident about him at home, and he was very well. His training had went well, and we always thought that he had plenty of class and that he would get the trip well, and we felt that he was in good shape that day.
The Scottish champion hurdle goes to the Irish on St Patrick's Day. It's istabraq and Charlie Swan who win. It's going to be an Irish 1-2, not just an Irish 1-2, an AIDAN O'Brien 1-2.
Istabraq was originally bought by John Durkin for owner J.P. McManus. John tragically died before he had a chance to realise his dreams.
Charlie Swan, what a horse! What a horse! Aidan O'Brien was right. He told me he destroyed him when he did, you know. He's some trainer.
And a dream come true with all the connections and all the story behind this horse.
I mean, this is for John Durkin.
It's all right. Very well done, Charlie. Words can't say enough. Well done.
Throughout the winter, istabraq was prepared for his historic attempt at a 3rd Cheltenham champion hurdle. But the most meticulous preparations were thrown into disarray when, on the eve of the race, istabraq was ominously found to have blood in his nose. Aidan's skill and judgment would be tested like never before.
And obviously when a horse has blood in the nose, it's usually a disaster. It's usually curtains when it happens. It's always a big decision. We knew that he had been brought along slowly and we'd done everything we could, and we knew that he was well. We also felt that we couldn't deprive him of the chance of being one of the greats by not running him.
I don't know about other owners, but, you know, Aidan knows more about the situation than I or anybody else, and it wouldn't be right for me to interfere at that stage. And I knew he wouldn't run the horse if he didn't believe it was the right thing to do.
Fast applause going right round the stands for a hugely popular champion.
I think the decision was made with everybody, and you would nearly always know by JP what he would be thinking without him telling you. He would very rarely tell you anything, but you'd know by talking to him, only for the horse was so good, and I think he just showed how good he was on the day.
This is the 4th time he's been here. He's Ireland's horse, and how they love him.
Istabraq is now into 15 to 8. One bookmaker is going 2 to 1, but plenty of 7 to 4 against Istabraq. Okay, I've come down to where the cheering will be going on in about 5 minutes' time. They've been here. These are the people. These are the race. Who's going to win? Everyone, who's not going for Istabraq?
Istabraq.
Istabraq. Everybody. Istabraq. Nobody hit Istabraq. Istabraq 2 to 1 favourite. But if you think the worst could possibly happen for Istabraq, well, Irish bookmaker Paddy Parris going 8 to 1 against Istabraq not finishing. Now imagine if he's going badly, Charlie Swan won't persevere with the old warrior. At 8 to 1, Istabraq not to complete the course.
When you own horses, you've got to run them. If they're well in themselves and the conditions are right, and there's always the danger that someday that you get some bad news.
Back as well. They turn left-handed, pass him the stand, but it's missed a call from Ansar. Then Rostropovich, a couple of lengths to landing right in a good position in 4th place. And Istabraq is tailing off, and he's being pulled up by Charlie Swan. Istabraq, the 3 times champion, being pulled up after just 2 flights of hurdles, and it may be that an honourable retirement awaits.
You don't often hear a horse pulled up favourite for champion hurdle, they're applauding from the stands again.
I couldn't believe it. Great sport and people there. You know, it's sad, but it's been fantastic.
Well, they're applauding you for the simple reason you've lifted the place up, the 2 of you, for so many years. Thanks for that. And at least he's safe and sound. Cheers, Charlie.
I'd say he did before he came here.
If Istabraq had lit up the racetrack, Aidan had now gone on to acquire an international reputation. The mantle of the great Vincent O'Brien was a perfect fit.
When I'm around that stable, obviously I can't help remembering times I spent there with Vincent O'Brien. He's someone who's worked in sport for 40 years and longer than I care to remember. It's perhaps the only time in my life, with the possible exception of interviews with and hanging around with Muhammad Ali, when I was talking to someone who was almost certainly the best who ever lived at what he did. You go back now, you feel that the atmosphere, the aura that surrounded Vincent still exists. You're dealing with people who may be in a billion-dollar complex of breeding and training and winning races, but always you know that they are excited by what they do, they're committed to it, and they bring excitement and fun to the racecourse. When Aidan was talking to me about Gallileo, and he said, you can tell how he is by how he behaves. He said, the expression on his face, how he carries on with himself. He said, he's not shy, you know. And when you hear that in relation to a great horse, you know that the affinity that he has with the animal is something that communicates itself not only in performance, but, as I've said, in the fun and the excitement that those horses bring to us once they go on the racecourse.
With all the races and records that fell to Aidan since he started training, the one race that had eluded him was the blue ribbon of English racing, the Epsom Derby.
You know, from the very start of the time that Gallileo went there, Aidan always thought he was a special horse, and throughout the build-up to the race, he was always very confident.
I think the beauty of Gallileo was he had great early tactical pace, and he always got in control of the situation very quickly. And he jumped beautifully at Epsom and got into in a lovely position, and was so balanced coming down the hill. It was he was a joy to ride around.
They set sail for the judge, rounding Tatnam Chorus, straightening up 3 furlongs to go in the Derby. Mr. Combustible set sail in front from Perfect Sunday. Here's Gallileo now on the outside, moving up the full out, the big challenge.
There's no far he was going to win. It's hard to put into words how you feel. You just want to get up to that winning post and get the result, and then enjoy it afterwards, because it's you're never sure until you pass the winning post.
But it's Gallileo, a furlong left to go, and Gallileo is going to career away with the Derby. Gallileo goes on to win it.
This is another of the extra excitements it gives to me, that I can talk to Aidan O'Brien, I can talk to Michael Kinane and to John Magnan and to Michael Tabor and to JP, because I always think of him as being involved in that too. And you know that you're dealing with people who, as I always say, know the story.
Well, Michael Tabor has been saying, I just want to see it again. It was that impressive. We talked to you beforehand. My word, that horse is something special.
You look very special. As I say, I'd like to see the tape of it again, because I can't quite believe it. And it's just an incredible performance.
I just think there's very few occasions where you see a thoroughbred racehorse that is most definitely at its peak. That was just fabulous, and the side shot we used, the wire cam shot, and when you really saw him accelerate, I've had so many non-racing people say to me, they could really see the change of gear there and the speed he produced and how balanced he was compared to everything else in the race. And I just think AIDAN O'Brien has been sensational. He's not a naturally confident, outgoing person, but in terms of the media, he's got better and better. He's managing to articulate his excitement.